We have a brand new project. It's an action-packed movie that takes place in the White House. Sounds interesting. Tell me more. There are North Korean terrorists, explosions, Gerard Butler, a cargo aircraft with side-mounted miniguns. Wait, what was that third thing? Explosions? No, after that. Gerard Butler from The Phantom of the Opera. Yeah. Timeline, Dracula 2000, Lara Croft 2. Come on, it's not so bad. Reign of Fire. I really just feel like you're listing movies that will show up later on Anything Nice to Say. Name one good Gerard Butler movie. 3? Do not say 300. Look, we just want to make Die Hard in the White House. Die Hard in the White House? You should have led with that.
That's how you get ants.
Look, it's true. A lot of Gerard Butler movies have flopped. Is it really all his fault?
We must be diplomatic.
And of course, Spartans.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say no. I mean, movie 43 made everyone look bad, but he doesn't get a complete pass. The movie's called Geostorm, Jer Bear. What were you expecting? But Olympus Has Fallen isn't really one of Butler's flops. It was fairly inexpensive to make and made a decent amount of money, which is, of course, why there are so many sequels. Olympus Has Fallen came out the same year as White House Down. It seems like every once in a while we have those times when two movies with the same premise come out exactly the same time, like Armageddon and Deep Impact. White House Down has a slightly better critic rating on Rotten Tomatoes, while Olympus Has Fallen has the slightly higher audience score. We'll probably get to White House Down eventually. This time around, let's see if we can find anything nice to say about Olympus Has Fallen. I really liked it. I'm not kidding when I say it's Die Hard in the White House. The major differences are that Butler's Mike Banning isn't quite as charming, and it's not Christmas time. The cast is pretty great. Aaron Eckhart plays the president, and Ashley Judd is his wife. In the opening, 18 months before the main action happens, we get a sequence where we establish the relationships between Banning, the president's son, and his wife. As they leave from Camp David during a snowstorm, there's a lot of tension. We know something's going to happen, we're just waiting for the drop. There's some interesting and subtle setup here too. Banning has taught the president's son about secret passages and hiding places in the White House. He makes the kid put on a seatbelt, which makes us think that that's going to be part of this drop of whatever this tension is leading up to. Instead, the president's limo spins out on a bridge and is hanging over a precipice. The First Lady's seatbelt is stuck. Banning cuts the president free and pulls him to safety while the limo goes over, killing the First Lady. It's intense and well done. You're on the edge of your seat. Flash forward to present day. Banning has been put on desk duty. There's an implication that he got demoted, but there's actually a better explanation presented by Banning's boss, Angela Bassett. Angela Bassett is a national treasure. She's great in everything, so saying she's great in this is redundant. She's great in this. Her reasoning is that the reason Bannon was moved out of the White House is because the president can't stand the reminder of his wife dying. There's some background news story about the North Koreans being awful because, of course, they are. The South Korean delegation arrives, a big cargo plane flies towards DC. The cargo plane is told to land, it shoots down the F-18s. The cargo plane is told to land, refuses, and shoots down the F-18s. The White House goes into lockdown. This is very Die Hard. Hans Gruber knows exactly how the FBI will react to the hostage situation at Nakatomi Tower in the same way that Kang, the leader of the terrorists in this film, knows exactly what will happen when the White House locks down because he has someone working on the inside. Dylan McDermott. No, that's Dermot Mulroney. It's Dylan McDermott. Yeah, that one. At one point, the president asks Dylan why he betrayed them, and he gives some stockpile answer about Wall Street and buying the presidency. It wasn't great.
I'm the bad guy. Duh.
It's fine, he has a dying breath redemption. The cargo plane is just a distraction. It starts shooting up people on the street. The whole point was to get the president into lockdown because now the terrorists are trapped inside with him. The only way to get in is to invade the White House yourself. Banning runs towards the danger, sneaks in, and it's now him versus the terrorists. Angela Bassett is joined by Speaker of the House Morgan Freeman in a military situation room.
You are the acting president of the United States.
Are they alive?
They are.
And this is the part of the movie where you know everything's going to turn out just fine. With Morgan Freeman and Angela Bassett on the case, what can go wrong? Morgan Freeman? That voice? Speaker of the House? It all fits! Banning finds out that the terrorists want the president's son. Instead of trying to help the president, he goes for the kid. He's not going to make the same mistake he did the last time. He's going to save the family. It's now a race to see who can find the kid first. Meanwhile, in the bunker, Kang is murdering people on TV. He kills the South Korean diplomat at first, dispatches the vice president pretty quickly. He's trying to get the code for the Cerberus system. The system detonates nuclear missiles before they can reach their destination. It's a final failsafe abort code. He's torturing the people with the code. 3 codes. Cerberus. Get it? Of course, we assume he's going to torture the president's son to get the president's code, so the stakes are pretty high. Banning is basically slaughtering the hell out of terrorists. There seems to be an infinite number of them.
It just keeps coming and coming.
Banning finds the son who is hiding in the walls. Remember, from the beginning, setup, meet payoff. He gets the kid to a ventilation shaft, someone comes in and starts to look, but is ambushed by Banning and killed, silently. Oh, knife-like. The military comes in and pulls the kid out, and we get confirmation from Bassett that the kid is safe. The whole time I was expecting something to go wrong and that someone on the inside was going to get the kid before the military did and turn him over to the terrorists, but I was pleasantly surprised when it didn't happen. They rescue the son, no shenanigans. Now, to the president. I don't want to ruin everything for you. There are a number of intense action sequences. Banning does some pretty morally dubious things. Dylan McDermott is dispatched to kill him, and his final act is to lie to Kang and tell him that Banning is dead. Kang wants to publicly execute the Secretary of Defense, so he drags her out and lets her start walking out the front doors. We all know that the news cameras are going to be trained on her and will broadcast the execution live. Again, lots of tension. We know Kang is ruthless at this point. Banning has other plans though, and she gets away to safety. It's a nice diversion of expectation. There is a fake out when the hostages are put on a helicopter and then they blow it up. Banning knows they wouldn't leave the bunker and that they are going to use the tunnels to escape. We find out what Kang's plan is. He's going to use the codes to blow up the nuclear missiles in their silos and turn the United States into a wasteland. So in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles episode, I talked about how I didn't understand why the bad guy would release a virus in New York City and immediately cure it just for money. Like, if you release the virus worldwide, then you can rule the world. But just New York? Just for money? With terrorists, the motivation is in the title. They want to enact terror. Kang tells Speaker/acting President Morgan Freeman to remove their naval fleet from Korea, but it doesn't really seem to care whether they do it or not. They hate America, they want to turn America into a radioactive wasteland. Got it. It doesn't need to be more difficult than that. To an extent, they're also relying on the real-world political relationship with North Korea. If you enjoy Die Hard, you'll enjoy Olympus Has Fallen. It shares a lot of the same plot elements. Gerard Butler doesn't quite have that Bruce Willis charm, but he's still awesome and kick-ass. There are great action sequences, cool effects, impressive moments, and set pieces for this film. It's the most fun you'll have destroying the White House since Independence Day. That's all we have today for Anything Nice to Say. Vote early, vote often, and never be ashamed to like what you like. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Check out all our new designs at our merch store and hit us up on Patreon. If you have a movie that you think is underappreciated and you want to see if I can find anything nice to say about it, leave it in the comments below. Meanwhile, in the bunker. Meanwhile, in the bunker, Kang is murdering people on TV. I ruined that take. Meanwhile, in the bunker.